Let's talk about the Texas Senate. Senators approved a bill that could change the way students are taught on college campuses in Texas. Senate Bill 16 would allow a university to fire a professor if they compel students to believe that any race, sex, ethnicity, social, or religious belief is superior to another. The lawmaker who wrote it calls it the CRT bill, and that bill does not contain the words critical race theory. And that's not what critical race theory is. Most of the time it's described as the core idea that racism is not the result of individual prejudice, but something embedded in legal systems and policies. Senator Brian Hughes sponsors Senate Bill 16 and says this is not about restricting discussions or ideas. Democrats argue, though, this bill regulates something that's not even happening in Texas.
Free discussion of ideas, intellectual inquiry, academic freedom, as you know, not just as concepts, those are specifically set out in the bill to make sure professors can lecture, they can discuss, they can challenge students. That's all part of the process, and that is not affected by this bill.
There's nothing in the record about any student saying that any professor has compelled them to do anything in that classroom.
No,
that's the record, right?
No, that's correct. No student.
The bill also says higher education institutes must commit to creating an environment of intellectual inquiry, academic freedom, and intellectual diversity to be prepared for the workforce.
I'm afraid of is that it's going to scare faculty away from teaching about issues that students really want to learn about. Students really want to learn about racism and sexism and homophobia and xenophobia. Us compelling, 18 to 22 or really 30-year-olds in graduate school to believe one thing versus another is just kind of a joke.
If this bill passes through the legislature, as is, the boards of regents for each institute would have to establish a system for faculty and students to make complaints so they can be investigated. Those complaints could lead to a professor being fired.